Hello. Well, I'm here to make another video today. This video is going to be about how a lot of the terminologies that are thrown around in the twin flame community, specifically union and union, okay, sure. That term, it's not specifically a twin flame term, but it does make sense. But in your inner union is a nonsense term. And it's kind of creating an unnecessary uh, point of separation. I'm going to show you how. So, very, very simply, what is a twin flame, right? We know it's one soul that has two bodies in a basic sense, right? That's what it is. So, if that's the case, that would mean that it's literally the same person. It's just that it's not that there's two instances. It's not that there's like two instances of a person. It's that there's like one thing that's controlling two bodies, basically. Now, whenever you say, oh, one soul that has two bodies, inherently what you think of as a soul is like something like when you die or when you incarnate that like comes and goes. It's not like that. It's not like that. Really what it's like is so your the physical body, it's just like a lump of flesh basically, right? And your consciousness is like a spotlight that, well, you know that everything is made of consciousness, right? So you know that, but then consciousness, when it like acts through um the physical, it kind of, because it is consciousness, it can kind of assume itself as that, but it's like a spotlight. So it's like here's the body, right? And the body exists within the stream of that consciousness, like a spotlight. It's like big like that, like it encapsulates the whole of the physical body, and it's like that, and it's a stream. But it's a stream that isn't coming from somewhere. It's non-local. That's what that means. It's not coming from somewhere. It's just kind of here, you know? But it is a stream. Like it's a stream in the same sense of like how you would stream a video. It's a stream like that. It's a constant like stream from a source. Okay, so but it's kind of like Bluetooth in a sense where it's like it's non-local and it's like a stream, not like a river. It is like a river in the sense of how it works, but like it can like anyway, besides the point. But so what a twin flame is just when that essence is controlling two physical bodies at the same time. Now, what it seems like from the egoic perspective is that there is two instances of you. Now, what I mean by two instances is that like how I would put it is like there's like you and like another you, but it's like a past life or something like that. Not how it is. It's not how it is. Really, what it's kind of like when you put on socks. Like, the each leg connects to the rest of your body, so it's a part of one thing, and it's supporting one thing, like it's helping one thing, it's to transport one thing, it's working for that one thing, but it's like it's putting on socks where the physical doesn't make up very much of you. Most of what you are is that stream of consciousness, right? But it's like a sock in the sense of like when you put on a sock, it's really just a thin layer of cloth. But at the same time, it kind of assumes like not just the shape, but also whatever your foot is, it assumes that. But it's just a layer on top of that. That's the physical and the astral. the physical and the astral is really the same. Now, this is what I would say is like like people say that 3D and 5D, right? E- Energy is 3D. Energy is not 5D. Energy is 3D. And 5D also, there's a misconception around dimensions. Now, what dimensions are is that they're not really spatial past the third dimension. So if you're looking at 4D, 5D, and looking at spatial dimensions, that's a misnomer. It's not like that. There's only 3 spatial dimensions. Now, whenever it says dimensions, it's really just layers of energy that are like stacked on top of each other, which is what reality is anyway. It's holographic. I mean, it's the physical, it's not really there. It just appears to be there. And the astral, which is mental, which is the mental field. Astral is mind. So that layer is what is the interface. Without that interface, so there's non-physical, right? Uses the astral in order to interface, in order to plug in to the matrix, which is reality. Okay? Now, very specifically, when it comes to the case of twin flames, where other people are just unto themselves, this one is 2, right? And it's like that, even though it doesn't seem like it. So when you're talking about inner union and outer union, whenever people talking about outer union, they're just talking about whether or not you're physically with them. That's stupid. Plus, union is it was never referring to whether or not you're with someone. It's not referring to that. It's actually referring to whether or not you're separating yourself from reality, like the degrees of separation from you and reality, you and essentially yourself, or you and the universe, you and the truth of what is, I guess. It sounds like fantastical, but when you actually are in union, it's like you see how everyone makes, like, because you did it yourself probably at some point, but it's like, oh, certainly you, like, how egos do it, what egos think when you say those sorts of things, but when you experience what it actually is, it's like so normal, so natural. There's nothing extra. The mind is the thing that adds stuff. The mind is the thing that causes degrees of separation. And that astral level, when you're identified with it, all it will do is create degrees of separation that don't really exist. So what am I saying? It's really all in your head. It's just thoughts that don't like the inner union, outer. It's not real. Now, you may physically, the 2 physical bodies may or may not be together at any particular time, but they energetically, what's happening between them energetically, there's no information that's lost. There's no information that's lost. But what does happen is both of them become confused because they're identified with the physical body. And so they're contracted and constrained to just what's happening within that physical body. And thus they feel cut off from the larger part of who they are. That's what's happening. It's not that and it's not that they're really cut off. It's like that they're just there's barriers in between, because that's what the mind is. The mind just creates those barriers. And you experience those barriers as all this metaphysical energy that you have to heal and purge and all this stuff. But when that stuff isn't there, it's like you just, there's no ambiguity at all, actually. And it's pretty clear. Pretty clear. Clarity is just natural. Clarity naturally exists. The mind is literally just creating degrees of separation that don't really exist. So it's just an illusion. It's not really real. But when you're in it, it seems like it. It's kind of like a pool. Like, you have to get out of the pool, and then, like, when you get out of the pool, you figure out that you can fly, and then you fly up just a little bit and you see the entire, like, the pool from the bird's eye view, not even that far up, and you see what the pool is, and you see what because you know what it's like to be stuck in it, right? To like be stuck in the pool, which is like basically energy, just to be stuck in all that, in the energy, is that well, when you're stuck in it, you're identified with it, right? Because you may be in it but not be identified with it, and so it doesn't stick to you. But when you're stuck in it, it's like, and it clings to you. It feels like it is you. It feels like it is you. But when you get out of it and you go back in, you're very clear, and you're very clear that it's not you. Like, you never lose that clarity. But also, you never lose that clarity. But also at the same time, it feels so bad and so clearly off when you're like identifying with anything other than the truth of than the truth. When you're identifying with something other than who you really are, and who you really are is not an identity. It's just there. It's just the truth. It's underneath all that. So it's like, it's not something you have to look for. It's not something you ever, like, and that's another thing. It's like trying to mentally apprehend who you are, because people say all the spiritual stuff, but the reason why nobody really finds it, because they don't actually inquire. They try to mentally apprehend it, which is the problem, because the mind, it tries to apprehend stuff, grasp at it, and then if it believes it actually has, it dons that as an identity, like it wears it like clothes, but it's a sham. It's a sham. It can never really be that thing. It can only be what it believes that thing is. Its imaginations about that thing, its conclusions, its beliefs about that thing. And it's pretty idiosyncratic to the particular mind that gathered the information. So you and another person who gathered the same information are going to interpret it differently. And also, just because you're different people, you're not going to look at the exact same information, even if you're like interested in the same stuff, looking at the same videos. You're just naturally, even if you're watching like 99.9%, you're still going to look at different stuff, and you're going to process it differently. And then it's just going to become an identity. And even if it's the same kind of identity, it's going to be different. And the thing is about that whole egoic way of doing things, now you're in competition. It's about, I'm better than this guy, or I'm doing, it's nonsense. And it's nonsense. Because the thing is, all you being like that, all you're doing is fooling yourself, because you're literally in the same exact spot as when you started. Nothing changed. The only thing that changed is your idea of yourself. Actually. And also this crazy like up and down that people experience, there's none of that. In fact, you see what the up and down, in fact, you probably know now, but you're so like like literally you're stuck in it. You're so dialed in to the up and down and to the drama that you really don't know anything else. And even when you're told, the only thing you know how to do is do it through the drama, when the truth of it is actually so simple. You know what I mean? And even if you're told that it's simple, the ego will take that. Egos take that as it being told that it's insufficient, or stupid, or that there's something wrong with it, like that is, whereas in truth, it's just like, it's actually 1 + 1 = 2. Look, let me show you how to do it. There, easy. And then here's the ego crashing out. You said I'm not good enough. I can't do it. Let me show you. And it tries to, like, it's stupid. It's dumb. The ego is dumb. It makes you do dumb things when you're identified with the mind. And that's why the whole twin flame thing seems so difficult. You would see that it's actually natural. It actually makes, that's what you know. What is so what the pain you're feeling is your identification with something that isn't true, something that you know isn't true, which is your mind, the ego. It's not that you're identifying with the ego. It's that your identification with mind and physical reality. It just, which stems from identification with the mind. I say that because it stems from that. It stems from that. It's everything else trickles down from just identification with mind. Identification with mind. And you suffer because you know the truth, like you've seen it. When you've seen the truth, that's why the whole, you feel activate. Now there is an activation, the energy, it starts to, because when you start to awaken, the energy, as it was dormant while you're asleep, it becomes active while you're awakening, in the process of awakening. And that's when it starts to come up, like how it does. And what you're experiencing as pain is the resistance to what you know is true while you are identified with the lie. And then the up and down is just the nature of the lie. It's up and down like that because it takes energy. And when things take energy, it can have less energy, more energy, and then it depletes. That's just what happens. Like when you charge a battery, right? And you charge a battery and you use that thing that's using that charged battery, the battery starts here and it depletes. That's what happens. That's just how that works, right? And it's like, if you literally get out of that, you're not subject to any of that, any of it, and you see the truth. But if you're in it, you can't, and you're just suffering, and it just sucks, and you don't really see it, and it gets you to see things backwards and inside out. And when it comes to the twin flame thing, it's like, it's tragic because it's already done. It's already done. It's literally perfect already. You guys are meant for each other. You guys love each other. The way that you feel about them is how they feel about you, and you both know it. But the only reason why is because you're identified with mind. And it's like, it's such, what the mind does is like, it like in Sun Tzu's Art of War, right? Like there's like two ways of kind of like projecting strength, right? There's quiet confidence, and then there's like loud boisterousness. It's strategically advantageous for the weak one to be loud and boisterous, whereas it's not advantageous for the actually strong one to be loud and boisterous. Why? Because the weak one, their best chance at being able to be effective outside of doing skills which they're inadequate at, just a priori, which is ego, it has to like go completely like on the extreme of like bragging and like in your faceness, right? So what ego does is it goes balls to the wall. It throws everything it can. It spares no expense, any god, anything. It will bring it down to you. It will exalt you. It will do whatever, right? All imaginary. All imaginary. It's so nonsensical, and it's funny because the divine, like that, the divine joke, like you may have heard it, divine comedy. There's a joke. There's a cosmic joke. When you get out of the mind, you actually see it, and you see how funny things are, and you don't really take things seriously anymore, and you see and actually feel the stability and the lightness of things, and how it wasn't really that serious. No, and you probably won't get mad. You probably, like, if you were in the mind state, you'd probably get upset because you're like, dang it, this whole time. But it's like, it's like so simple, and you just want to share it with other people. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of where I'm at. And it's like, it's such a relief. It's really such a relief because everything that you want it to be, it already is. It's so insane too, because what the mind is doing, none of it's happening. None of it's really happening. Or if it is, it's not happening anywhere. It's not like what your mind is saying. It's just not. And you probably have even known that, and you've seen that you can't really trust the mind because it doesn't really know. It reaches conclusions. You've probably seen that. But at the same time, as it's so concluded the way it is right now, you just can't get out. It seems like there's just no space. It's you, right? Now, I hear people, they say, "Oh, ego," but I can see that they don't even see their ego at all. I can see that. It's clear. It's clear, and it's not as an insult. It's just like, it's when you see what ego actually is, you can't really unsee it. That's really it. And it's very simple. And it just messes everything up. It throws a wrench into things, but it doesn't actually do it. It just makes it seem like it's doing it to get you to do it. And then it actually does happen. And that's why things don't really work out. Now you may know that the mind is getting in the way, but you don't really know how. And so you do all these things to try and overcompensate. And it doesn't really work as good as it can, whereas it's literally already perfect. You're just fucking with it, but it's not really you. You just think it's actually just that's just what happens when you're identified with the mind. You cannot actually it can't be any other way. Doesn't matter. It's mind, the way ego works, it works the same. Like God, like some God, I don't care, in whatever heaven, their ego works the same as Joe Schmo working at Chili's. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same. So, like that's harkens back to like, spiritual teachers trying to the real deal spiritual teachers always will talk about how the 3D is an illusion. How, well, not even just 3D, just reality. What you call reality is an illusion. How it's not really real. It harkens back to that. And it's true. It's literally true. But anyway, a little bit longer of a video. I wanted to make this video 10 minutes. It ended up being 20. Anyway, let's cut it short. Peace.